All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, and my inbox since yesterday has been blowing up because Apostate Prophet has converted to Christianity or is on his way to converting to Christianity. So people want to know my reaction. People want to know what went wrong. I don't think anything went wrong. So I'll give you my objective analysis. I don't feel the need to attack anyone. I don't feel the need to question people's motives. I think those are lazy diagnosis of people. I think we should not be thought policing people because this is something we accuse religious people of, thought policing us. Yet now we're doing the same thing. I don't think it's appropriate. But there are quite a few nuances that we should explore, which I'll try to do in this video. So let me first read Apostate Prophet's tweet. He's saying, "For 10 years, I was an atheist and agnostic. For 2 years, I've been searching. Today, I have been accepted as a catechumen in the Orthodox Church on my way to becoming a baptized Christian." Catechumen means you're going to learn about Christianity, and before you are baptized as an Orthodox Christian, you go through this step. I don't know much about Christianity other than the fact that I am a rationalist. I don't believe in anything that is not fully supported by either rationality or scientific evidence. But that's just my worldview. I don't think we should condemn other people who seek to expand their horizons and dabble with some other spiritual beliefs. That's how I see the world now. A few years ago, I used to be very combative towards people of faith, be them Christians, Hindus, and definitely Muslims. But I don't see the world through that dichotomous lens. So before we explore what went wrong with AP, again, it's a tongue in cheek comment, don't take it seriously. Let me give you a brief rundown of how we got to where we are. So after 9/11, the world suddenly changed. People like Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris emerged and they launched this unscathing attack against all established religions, mainly Christianity, and then it moved over to Islam and other religions as well. I belong to the generation that was mesmerized by Richard Dawkins. I still see him as the father of my intellectual awakening. I ran into Richard Dawkins back in 2005 or 6 when I was 21, 22 years old. I looked at his arguments, I read his books, I applied those arguments on Islam, and I came out as an ex-Muslim atheist. I didn't feel the need to join any other religion because that's not how my mind works. I never had a problem with the realization that we are alone as human beings and there has to be something out there. What happens to those people who die? I want to see my dead grandparents again one day. And religion offers you this kind of comfort, or I would say a crutch. I don't need that, but a lot of people do need that. Even though your mind tells you that all these religions are man made, despite this knowledge, people still have the tendency to believing in something bigger than them. And that's what happened with Ayan Hirsi Ali. And I'm assuming this is probably what happened with Apostate Prophet. The arguments presented by the New Atheist movement were very strong. They were very convincing. And for a time, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, these guys were enormously popular. People who are 10 or 15 years younger than me, they don't understand how Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and Sam Harris took the entire intellectual world by storm. These guys were untouchable. These guys were delivering debates and speeches in front of packed stadiums. Movie stars like Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt, they were flocking towards these people in droves. And in a very short amount of time, the West went from a culture dominated by Christianity to a culture dominated by atheism. None of us could anticipate that once you remove Christianity from the social fabric of the West, what kind of a world are we going to inherit? Nobody saw that. 10 years later, by 2014, 2015, we saw the rise of this new menace called wokeism. We can't blame Christianity or religion for the scourge of wokeism. Wokeism came out from a generation that had discarded traditionalism, a generation that had no interest in Christianity, and a generation that was self-righteous and sanctimonious in its own approach. They saw themselves as the liberators of the world. They were out to create a global community where all people are equal despite of their cultural and religious leanings. Now, that was a recipe for disaster because the proof is in the pudding. We can see how after the erosion of Christianity, the West became a breeding ground for Islamism. Without solid traditions, the West just could not compete with radical Islam. In fact, Islam became even more radical in its approach towards dealing with the West. Let's be real. Atheism is a very sad, lonely, dark, and gloomy place for a lot of people. Not everyone is like me. I am not troubled by the thought that we are alone. Once we die, that's it, is game over. This doesn't really depress me. But we shouldn't look at everyone else through the lens of our own experiences. People have their own lived experiences. Their lived experiences shape their personalities shape their worldviews around them. And people are ideological creatures. People want to have some sort of a guiding ideology to live their lives by. It's a very common observed phenomenon across human societies. And I think although the new atheist movement gained a lot of subscribers very quickly, it failed to give a workable framework to these new atheists. At that time, I remember people used to ask Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris questions like, if you removed God from people's lives, how are you going to give them hope? And then the answer from the other side always used to be very cold. They would just say that, hey, the universe doesn't owe you any hope. The universe doesn't care whether you live or die. Now, that idea didn't really trouble me, and it still doesn't trouble me, to know that we are insignificant in this insignificant part of the galaxy, in a huge universe. And if a small black hole wanders through our part of the galaxy and sucks in the whole solar system, and we're gone like that, it would be pretty depressing, but it doesn't make me want to believe in a higher power that would save us from that catastrophe. That's not how my mind works. But that's not how everyone else's mind works. And this is a reason why we have seen the sudden resurgence of Christianity in the West and also Islam in the Muslim world. Our ex-Muslim movement in India, Pakistan started off with a bang, but then we saw after a year or two, Muslims started coming back with slightly more refined arguments, or arguments that could be more convincing to people who could not find comfort in their atheism. So this was only a matter of time. And I think a lot more people will revert back to Christianity or Islam, which is okay. I am out of this business of deconverting people or pulling people out of their religious worldviews to atheism. I'm not really interested in that. If you actually notice my recent videos, I mostly talk about the negative effects of radical Islam in the West. And if Christianity gets to the stage where it starts harming our secular liberal worldview, then I would start attacking Christianity as well. But at this time, I don't think Christianity 2.0 or the Christianity of the 21st century is going to be just as combative or lethal as it was back in the day. Religions are evolving. As far as Islam is concerned, I think Islam is going to be a nuisance in the West for the next 5-10 years or so, but then it would be forced to reform. However, I used to believe Islam is the single biggest threat to the West. I don't believe that anymore. I think AI is the single biggest threat, not only just to the West, but to the whole world. I've been consuming a lot of content on AI, how it's going to change our world. And I'm telling you, it's not making me very optimistic about the future. But I have a feeling that Christianity is going to make a very strong comeback. I think this Christianity will be a lot more inclusive. I think this Christianity will be a lot more humane. Not that it was very inhumane back in the day, but it still had some lingering issues like their opposition towards abortion, their contempt for the LGBTQ community, etc. But those two are probably the biggest pain points of Christianity. But I don't think Christians of the 21st century would be as hostile towards abortion or the LGBTQ community as their predecessors back in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. However, we can't be complacent either, because if history has taught us anything, it is that once religions establish a stronghold in any society, they tend to dictate their values on the rest of us. That's what's happened for thousands of years, and there is a slight possibility that it may happen again. Although we should be optimistic, I don't think that's going to happen. Jan Hersieli also made headlines last year when she said that she has converted to Christianity. A lot of us thought that she has converted to Christianity for practical reasons, because I think she raised this concern that in order for us to fight off radical Islam, we need to bring back Christianity. And when Richard Dawkins asked her, do you actually believe in some of these Christian myths? She said yes, which was a bit surprising. So I think it would also be interesting to know whether AP has subscribed to Orthodox Christianity for practical reasons or for spiritual reasons. And for spiritual reasons, how much of Christianity does he actually believe in? That would be very interesting. I am keeping an open mind. I don't know if he believes in the resurrection, the virgin birth, he believes in the body of Christ turning into wafer. I don't know if he believes in these things. But as far as the spiritual element of Christianity is concerned, it was never my cup of tea. But I have also seen some people attacking Apostate Prophet. They're saying that how can you attack Islam but at the same time believe in Christianity, as though these two things are mutually exclusive. I don't think they are mutually exclusive. You can have totally independent reasons to attack Islam, just like you can have totally independent reasons to attack Christianity while you believe in Islam. Islam's chief character, Prophet Muhammad, is vastly different from Christianity's chief character, Jesus. Jesus was not a warlord. Jesus did not have multiple wives and sex slaves. Jesus' teachings are very different from Muhammad's teachings. So you can have your own reasons for believing in Christianity or Islam. I don't think that criticism is fair. I think our biggest grievance with religious people before the rise of the New Atheist movement was that they thought police us. They tell us that what we can think about and what we can't think about, what we can say, what we can't say. That used to be them. Since when did we become like that? We have also seen a lot of ex-Muslim atheists from India converting to Hinduism. We can't just brush it all off and say that these guys are all grifters, there are some other nefarious purposes behind their conversions. That's very lazy, in my opinion. If people convert to whatever worldview, whatever religion, then it's up to them. And if it makes them a better person, then I think we should celebrate that. I don't think Apostate Prophet, despite converting to Orthodox Christianity, would suddenly start hating LGBTQ people or would suddenly start campaigning against abortion. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there are many layers in Christianity that you can pick and choose and run with it. And again, I'm speaking from a very limited knowledge of Christianity. I know a lot of people would say, Harris, you don't know anything about Christianity. If you embrace the message of Jesus, then you have no reason to hate the LGBTQ people. Although they might not say the same thing about abortion, which is obviously a topic close to the heart of many atheists, especially feminist atheists. And rationally speaking, I think women should have a right over their bodies. There should be a cutoff date for abortion, but there shouldn't be a blanket rule of no abortion purely because my religious beliefs tell me that. So I would say congratulations to Apostate Prophet. If this makes you a better person, then so be it. Don't listen to detractors. And for me personally, there is a plus side as well, because now I am the biggest ex-Muslim atheist channel in the English-speaking world. Jeez, that sounds just as bad as when Trump said that now he's got the tallest building in Manhattan after the World Trade Center buildings were brought down by terrorists on 9/11. So I would love to interview Apostate Prophet. I'll send him a message after recording this video to come down and let's have a chat. I just don't see religious people as dumb people anymore. I used to see it like that. I do think that they are wrong in understanding the universe, but I think humans are a lot more complex than that. And I think we should get out of the business of thought policing. Anyway, that's it from me. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, ta-da.